Make sure I can hear me. Just making sure I could hear myself this morning. As you know, I've had technical issues for at least what feels like a queen's age. With everything going on, you know. If you know, you just know. Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there, all the dads who stepped up to be dad and everything in between. A special shout out to my dad. Happy Father's Day. I was supposed to see him today, and well, I'm not going to because my parents' flight got canceled. So they won't be in until next weekend. So happy Father's Day, Dad. We were supposed to have ribs and clams today. Anyhow, good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. My name is Nikki Adamkowitz. I am the Sassy Subber, and today we are going to have basically a smorgasbord of loveliness that we're going to talk about this morning. So we are going to be talking about the acrylics from Apricium. She has acrylic ornaments and she has acrylic photo panels, and I have been creating, if you've missed out on it in a hot minute, I have been creating stained glass look, and we're going to press it on some acrylic because we just need to see what it looks like. We just need to see if it does what we think it is going to do, right? We're also going to be pressing the coin toss games from Blanktastic. She has two sizes, one for kids and one for adults. I'll explain once we get there. We also are going to talk about the board method. We're going to go over what the board method is, and then we're going to round it out with a craft project. You guys keep asking me how I string the silicone beads on the wristlets and how I make a homemade tassel out of the marine vinyl that I print. So we're going to be doing that on the back half. But as always, let's make sure I can get the right cue here. Give me 1 second. We got to thank those ladies. I would like to thank the ladies behind the Sass this morning. We have Jessica, Jody, Cheyenne, and Amanda to round out the top four. Please say good morning to the ladies of the Sass. Just getting my beverage this morning. Lost the coffee already. So, I hope you guys are having a fabulous morning so far. Let's get to it. Good morning, Charlie. Except I need probably a Charlie hat. Anyway, let's just go to the heat press. All right, so we're going to talk about how I achieved that look right there. So I, in Photoshop, created these beautiful stained glass designs, and I've already pre-pressed one, and so you guys could see it ahead of time of what it looks like. These are the photo panels. This particular size, which is the 5x7, is currently out of stock out of Ashley's, but she does have an 8x10. We're going to play with that. I'm also going to show you some things with it. Again, we'll get to there. So we're going to press that design, and here's how you do it. So you don't mirror these, first of all. Second of all, there is a plastic coating on both sides. So let's get to getting off this coating, which can be a little tricky when you're doing it. Now you can throw it under the heat press, like make it a little bit more pliable. But once you get it started, it's kind of easy. Now, with the acrylic, you want to do it at 400. I do it at 400 for 60, and it's light pressure, Ashley recommends. Let's get the back side. Now, I was thinking about this last night as I was getting all of my stuff together, is I wish I had a rectangle pan or a square pan, because you could fold this over and make it into a dish. Just a thought. All right, let's get this off of here. There we go. So there is a clear side, and there is this white back side. That's the side you want to press on. Okay. Make sure you follow Ashley's instructions when pressing these. All right, let's pull our design out. So we're going to do that stained glass. So I took my tumbler design, which is a stained glass flag, and we're going to press it on this. When you lay it down, line it up. Now make sure you understand that this acrylic will end up very pliable when you after you've pressed it. Again, you don't need to have squish the heck out of me pressure. It's very light pressure. When you're pressing it, don't mirror your image. If you've got wording on it, I guess it doesn't matter if you don't have wording, but if you have wording on it, don't mirror your image because it's just like a cutting board. It's going to come through this side of it. All right, so when you're pressing it, you're going to press it like this. But as you know, we need to protect our investment around here. It's always about the butcher paper. We're going to drop it like it's hot because it is. This is all set and ready. And that's off and ready to the races. Okay, so like I said, if you want a really good look at this, you can actually see all the textures that I put in here to give it that stained glass look. It is stunning. Okay, so it's going to be hard to see maybe in the little camera to be able to see the light through it, but oh my goodness, I will make sure that I take pictures of this. Now you can bend this around a pot. I showed that in a previous Sass, how you can bend this to make the photo panel be able to stand up. You could add some acrylic feet, but again, it's super pliable when it comes out of the heat press, that it's really easy. Now, when you do pull this out of the heat press, you want to make sure that you lay it flat. You can also put something on top of it, but just remember, anything you put on top of it will leave a mark. I gotta say that because someone's going to do it. All right, so we're gonna just pull it out. We're going to put it on here, but I want to check it first because my heat press can be a little funny being with the clamshell. So I'm gonna come in, see what we got going here, and of course it lifted, so it is what it is at this point. I'm gonna see if I can't line this back up. Yep, you're gonna watch me do it. Watch me. You're gonna be like, Nikki. Yep, you're gonna watch me do it. Watch me line this bad boy right back up because it didn't press in the one corner. And I knew that was going to be a problem too. I would like to tell you I'm a trained professional. I am not. But we're going to do it anyway. We're going to do it anyway. You're going to watch me do it. We're going to do it anyway. Yep. Sometimes, if I tape this like down really well, I could definitely have double pressed it like right away. But you see how this has this right here? I'm going to go throw it back on the press. Oh yeah, you're going to watch me do it. Let's do it. Okay, so I might want to add a little bit, I might have too light of a pressure to really get it in there. We're going to see. So when you're pulling your paper off, okay, when you lift up your butcher paper and you're looking at it, right, I don't have butcher paper on there right at the moment, I took it off. Anyway, when you put you'll be able to see if it's the ink has gone all the way through. So I am running a risk right now not putting butcher paper on top of there because it's going to bleed through and it might go to my top platen. So I got to make sure on project number 2, I make sure I put that butcher paper on because, you know, I did it and I missed a step. Okay. It looks like it's much better that time. Just need a little bit more pressure, I think. So this is why we use butcher paper. Oh, much better. This is why you use butcher paper, because you got to protect that investment, right? Oh, much better. Much better. Now, as you can see, I can pull this. While it's cooling, I could definitely have put this around a pot if I wanted to. So what I'm going to do really quick while it's hot is bend it, right? You could put it around a water bottle, whatever it may be. Okay. Holy Toledo. I don't have there it is. Okay, and you could just wrap it around. Put there for a second. While it's hot, you want to be doing this, okay? So you can wrap it around anything you want, really. And as you can see, it's already stiffened up. If you don't get it to where you want it, throw it under the heat press. Okay, add the heat back onto it. Just gently, as you can see in the little camera, I'm going to come in and I'm going to literally smush it back down. Okay? All right, and then you can just do what you needed to do. All right, so make sure that you lay it flat. I'm going to go put this over on the metal thing over here because it'll cool a lot faster for me. And let's lay it flat. Okay, we're going to leave that alone right there. Let it do its natural thing, okay? So what I want to do is, because I had put that butcher paper, we're just going to literally off gas whatever might have been any issue on my press. Because, you know, I'm crazy. I forgot to put the butcher paper on the top. Alright, so what I'm doing right now is I'm off gassing what could have been on the top of my platen, and then I'll be able to go through with a cloth and clean that off. So, because it bleeds right through, we're going to let that cool over there, and we're going to work on project number 2. Now, the nice part about those acrylics is they are stunning when they get pressed. Like I said, it's going to be beautiful when you see it. See, it's still too warm for me to... It is gorgeous. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's absolutely gorgeous, the coloring. So, we're going to not continue to burn my fingers because, you know, got to protect the investment here. So, if you've missed it, this is the one that I've already done. It is absolutely gorgeous. Came out stunning, right? So, let's go check this real quick. Much better. Grab my cleaning cloth. Make sure everything. Now, if you need to, real quick side note, if you need to clean, go in with like Gooby Gone, or if you get anything that's up on in here, wipe down your platen. Sometimes I'll wipe it down while it's hot. Sometimes I will wipe it down while it's cold. It really just depends on what I'm doing and how fast I want something off on it. So there we go. So now that is cleaned off. Yes, okay. Next up, make sure Nikki remembers to use the butcher paper on the top, because I completely forgot. All right. Next up are these quarter toss games. All right. They do come in 2 different sizes. The coin toss games come in a kid size, and they also come in an adult size. As you can see, Claire puts the masking on these. These are sublimatable wood, made out of sublimatable wood. She does the masking, and it seems like overkill, but honestly, if she doesn't mask it, it ends up with weird burn marks. So Claire does have the sublimation type style wood if you're looking for any other wood type projects. All right. As you can see, there's a vast difference in the size. Again, the reason for here's the theory behind the different sizes. One, this makes it harder for adults to get the quarter or whatever coin they're using inside the hole. For a child, though, it's a little bit difficult. So this is just a little bit smaller for a kid so that they get great for kindergartners, really great for, you know, using it as a manipulative in class. Now, the ones that I already have done, let me slow down. The ones that I've already done in my shop, you'll have to scale them down just slightly. These ones are a little bit of a smaller version. We decided to downscale it just a little bit, and the reason behind it is so that it can fit in cosmetic bags a lot easier without having to put them in like a wine tote. So these now fit in the cosmetic bags. I will show you that. A lot easier, because a lot of people are like, Nikki, can we use the cosmetic bags? Well, no, you couldn't before. They were too big. They were just too big. But now you could take it, and now it fits, and now it becomes a great travel bag. These are a lot easier to come by for us. So, you know, a cosmetic bag, you can put the instructions on the outside of the bag if you want. You can also put it on the back side of the coin toss game. So these, like I said, are just slightly smaller. We decided to go with a smaller size. Again, I did make this is just a big one just because I decided to print it that way. All right. We're going to, so again, just resize. These ones measure about a little over 7 and just under 5 inches wide. So that's the size of those. These little guys measure at 4 by 6. Now the designs that I'm using, this one is mine. The little kid one is my sister's. You could find a lot of her stuff at True Digital Artistry over on Etsy. Okay. All right. We had a lot of people ask for the coin toss games, and Claire's like, well, I can do it. So you press these at 400 for 60 seconds. Again, double-sided. I do give it a little bit of pressure. I don't do light pressure. I do a lot of medium pressure. Let's put some butcher paper down. Make sure I put it on the top this time. Because, you know, we're here for it. So the wood is actually from what Claire says, is a double-sided Chromolux. It's from Chromolux, so this is a double-sided, so it's quality. It's a quality wood. It's from a brand that you guys know and respect, and that's Chromolux. Let's loosen this up just a touch. So I like using stuff that comes from brands that we trust. Unisub, Chromolux, Duralux. Those are the ones that you definitely want to, if you see those, you know that they're quality. You know that you're getting a good brand, a good quality blank. You also, for your mugs, Orca coating is another thing that you should look for. That's how you also know that you're getting quality when it comes to your blanks. Well, hello, Janessa. Yes, so it is a double-sided. So we're going to press on both sides of those. We're going to put the instructions on one side, and we're going to, and I'm only going to put it on the one, because I didn't scale it down for the kiddos. I forgot to do that. Again, all of my files can be scaled down, and they do come with the instructions. Make sure that you just resize them accordingly. Ooh, Mandy, it came out good. My sister was worried. She's never designed for a coin toss game before, and so she was nervous because she's never actually designed for wood before. And that's a common thing. How do you design for a wood product? Well, you just do it, okay? And it came out gorgeous. So now here's another thing. If it's not laying flat, you can go and put something on top of it. It may warp just a little bit. You can also pre-press it to get some of the moisture out of it. I would probably recommend that, especially on the bigger board. I didn't today, but you could just do that and you just let it sit here and you cool it and it'll be perfect. It does come with the feet. And again, I could just go like this while it cools. Yeah. So, you're not going to get the rich, vibrant white colors. Absolutely not. Because it's wood, right? So there's my design. We're going to do the same thing that I just did to my sister's. We're going to drop it like it's hot. We're going to put something on top of it. And then when I go to pre-press this, or press this backside, it'll be a little bit different because it'll squish it flat because we're going to put the instructions on the backside of the large one. Okay. Now that we added a little bit of pressure, we are good to go. Now we're going to put this on the back side of this. Yes, the feet are also sublimatable as well. This is what the feet look like. They just literally, it all gets to be able to be broken down when you're doing it. And there you go. It says you suck, you still suck, and you suck a little less. So there you go. Nothing like a good old attaboy for the morning, right? So we are going to line this up. make sure my design fits, because it's going to be a tight one. Oh, you know what? Because it is so small, I might not be able to. We're just going to, just for sake of purposes, let's trim it. I don't care. I don't care. We're going to trim it anyway. Okay. So we're going to put this on the back side of it. Do I sublimate the feet? I don't. My designs do include it, but I don't sublimate the feet. If I'm going to put something on the feet, I'm going to put my company logo on the inside. So when it's like this, my company logo is right here. So it's kind of hidden. It's inside, so people can say, hey, this is where I found it with my .com. And that's where I would put my company logo, would be on the inside of this, not in the way of the decoration of the item. All right, so let's go throw this on the press. All right. There you go. And see? You can use an MDF round if you wanted to make game pieces. You can also use a coin. Oh, crap, it just went over the edge. Anyway, so that's what you could use to this. This is a great camping game. This is a great game for those rainy summer nights. It's just family game night. I love the fact that we have the little kiddo one. And the reason for it, again, is because, you know what, even this big kid can't do it. I don't want to promote the idea of an adult beverage, but it does go well with an adult beverage kind of night. If you would like to, you absolutely can. There we go. Isn't it adorable? You got this, right? Okay. My fingerprints are destined to be burnt off today. See, this is what happens. That's what off-gassing is, and that's what you want to try to prevent when it comes to why people say, oh, you don't need to use butcher paper. Yeah, I disagree with you. You should. And there you go. There's the Tassel game. That is those are the instructions. Again, you can put it on the outside of the cosmetic bag where everything's going to fit inside, or you can put it on the back of the game. Then there it is, all one thing. Now, can you glue the foot inside here? Absolutely you can. You can if you want to, but you know what? I don't, because I like to be able to take it down and do what needs to happen. So there you go. How adorable are they? I love the fact that they come in 2 different sizes now, because again, you have the kid version, you have the adult version. The adult version obviously adds a level of, you know, a degree of difficulty to it for the little kids. Clearly I can't even do the little kid one. So there we go. Here's where we're at this morning. So again, those come from Blanktastic. Just let me clean up my mess over here that I threw everything out of my cosmetic bag I had sitting here, because why not? And the cosmetic bags you can get from Condi. And I believe Johnson Plastics also has them as well. So there you go. Perfect little thing. Let's go put these over here. Okay. Now we're going to get down to something that is a quite commonly asked question, and that is the board method. What is the board method? So let's say you have a 15 by 15 press and you want to press a baby blanket, or if you want to press something that's bigger than your bottom platen. I'm going to pull my heat press over so that you guys can understand it a little bit easier as to what I'm talking about and why it comes in very handy. Now, I have 2 different size boards when it comes to my heat presses. I have a large one, which is about 30 by 24 that I use for baby blankets. And then I have a smaller one, which is 24 by, I think it's it's 24 by 16. I think it is. What it does is it basically allows for your platen to grow, and it allows so that your paper isn't dipping. Okay, so let's move everything off this little press. Turn this off because I don't need this anymore. Because the next project has nothing, our craft project has nothing to do with sublimation. I'm going to slide over my little guy. Now, I know you guys have not seen me use my little guy in a very long time. Actually used him for the first time in a long time. So let's get him in under this screenshot here. Okay, let's see if we got it. I might have to just zoom out the camera, so give me 1 second. Because I got my camera all zoomed in. Let's see. Oh, that's all zoomed out. Perfect. Alright, I just wanted to make sure it was zoomed out enough to where we could make it happen. Okay? So, here's the thing about these beautiful things we call heat presses. There's an edge to it, okay? There's an edge right here. Well, a lot of our substrates we can't necessarily put all on our heat press, right? It dips down. And here's what I wanted to show you. We're just going to use this as an example. Let's say you are pressing towels, okay? And you're pressing, you see how this dips over the edge? But let's say you're trying to do a full bleed, all right? So now you've got it all, your paper's all taped on top of this. Well, it's dipping down. What happens when it dips down? When it's dipping down like this and you go to slide it, it's not going to line up perfectly. It could show some off-gassing. It can shift, believe it or not. You might have this taped down here, here, and here, but this middle section can shift. So, bring on the board method. If you look in the little camera, this is my board. I put a Teflon sheet over the top of it to protect the MDF board that I went and got. I literally lay it on here. Here's what happens. So when I use, this is my cleaning towel, by the way. So when I use this particular method, I'm putting my image over the top. If you notice, there is going to be no bending when it comes to my substrate, okay? So this mainly works really well for cloth items, but you can really use it for anything that's larger than that, okay? Then what this allows for is it allows for us to be able to slide this in any direction. And if you notice, the towel did not shift. The paper wouldn't have shifted. It allows for us to have a little bit more of a seamless transition when you have to double press an item. Let's get further into this. I'm just going to use some old butcher paper to show you. So now you have, it's all taped off, right? And so I could move this however I want. When your object, okay, is taped onto here, there's two schools of thought here. I'm going to tape this so that it looks like this is the transfer, so give me a second. Okay. So we're going to pretend that this is our transfer. Now, I normally tell you to put butcher paper on the top, and you still can, okay? And I'm going to show you why. So I used to tell you guys, you don't put the butcher paper on the top for the method, for this particular method. Why? Because I wanted you guys to go in, and I don't have a pencil, but I'm going to use a marker just for this tutorial so you can see it better on camera, okay? You're going to want to go in, and you're going to want to put a line right straight across, okay? Pencil only, because the marker will bleed through, okay? You see how I have a line there? Well, that's where my platen actually stops. So when I go to press my item, all right, I can press it down. Well, now I've got to be able to rotate this and line this back up. Now, why is that there? This is so that you're not double or triple pressing on a line, because that can cause issues. What this allows for is for me to come in and just barely put that line underneath my platen. Okay? So now the line is running right underneath my platen. I know where the end part is. It's just barely doing it, and I press again. All right. You don't want to overlap it too much. You want to just barely overlap it. This line is a guide. All right. It's an absolute guide for you to be able to go, okay, that's where I need to press this. Now you could put tape, like after you're done, you could run the tape and you could tape it down if you wanted to protect it. I don't do that. I do this right here with a pencil. All right. Again, we're only doing this for camera purposes. I do it with a pencil and then I put it underneath. Now, because I tell you guys to put butcher paper on top of your item, why? We need to protect the platen. While this is in here, right, you can put it on there. You could still put your butcher paper on here and still draw your line down. Okay, that's what you want to do. And then take your butcher paper off, reposition your board. Right, we're going to reposition this board. And then we're going to put our butcher paper on the area that's underneath the heat press. And then I'm going to line it all up and drop it down. Now I've protected my investment. I've protected the investment. I've lined it up. I'm not quadruple pressing over a line. I'm just barely doing it. I would also like to add, don't ever press on a seam line. You heard it right. Let me explain. Okay, when you press on a seam line, okay, where you've joined two pieces of paper together, you are literally creating a valley. When you add your tape over the top of that and you add your platen down, you're literally pushing on the valley. You're causing the paper, even if it's taped, to dip down, creating an air, because it's only taped on the one side. You're not taping it underneath, so you're pushing that bottom a little bit open, okay? So we never want to press the edge of your platen on a seam, because it will dip ever so slightly, causing those white little air gaps, to call it something. Okay, try to make sure that that seam is underneath the platen completely. It will allow for less of an issue. All right, so when you have it like this, you have your seam across and you drop down your heat press, you want to drop it down past that point. All right, we don't want to press on a seam directly on the edge of your platen. So that edge of your platen shouldn't go like this. The edge of the platen should come so that it works. Does that make sense, I hope? Because again, you don't want to have pushing pressure on a seam. It just literally does not ever work out in anyone's favor. When you're using the pencil board method, all right, you're going to use the pencil line, draw it across so you have a guide. Yes, sometimes your paper will turn colors, but you know what? We're tired people who are doing this. Draw it with the line, all right? And then shift your board. Also, when pressing a blanket, all right, you can number the backs of your paper after you've lined them up. You can also put an arrow facing up. Why? That's the back part of your platen. That way you know you've got the same, it's going in the same direction every time. So you want to put that arrow facing to the back part. You're sliding your image in and it's going in the same direction. So if your arrow does not look correct, move your board so that it does. Make sure you number your items when you're doing the panel blankets or the panel pillows, or you're making a baby blanket. Always put the arrow in pencil up at the top and label it 1, 2, 3, 4 when doing a baby blanket. This way you know the order in which you will want to press them. And then this way you don't screw this up all the time. After 6+ years of doing this and 4 years teaching it, I have come up with the board method with the pencil, coming up with the arrows on the back so that you guys could do this a little bit more successfully without just winging it. All right, lay it all out, use your pencil, and you guys will be golden. can you explain, let me see what you wrote here. Give me 1 second. I need to see where your comment went, Shalata. I don't know where your comment went. Can you explain the folded paper for pressing with a clamshell? I thought I just did. Did I not? Maybe I did. Maybe I'm just seeing it. Okay. I still cannot get my press to close using the board. So, which press, what we could do, Jeanette or Julie, we can sidebar. You could take a picture of your heat press and then we can talk about it. You might actually, if you have a heat press like I do, which is the fancier studio ones, you might have to just use some WD-40 on the turn. I don't know which press you have, so I can't direct you any further. Also, you can just get a thinner piece of board. You don't have to use a 1/2-inch piece of MDF. You can get a 1/4 inch. You can also get some Luan. You just need the board to help so that your paper doesn't droop. All right, you don't want droopy paper. Oh, yes. That's what you're talking about. All right, so what Shalata's talking about, let's bring that press right around. Oh, here we go. All right, it's hard to see, but I'm going to try to explain this the best that I possibly can because we're looking down at it, okay? So the back part of a clamshell touches first, always. The front part of yours touches last, okay? So you're going to get more pressure in the back than you are going to get in the front, okay? So, visual, you'll have the clamshell, okay? So as your clamshell's coming down, it's hitting here first, okay? You're hitting here first and then it's coming down. So believe it or not, you're not getting the same amount of pressure on a clamshell in the front as you do in the back. How do you combat that? You take some cardstock, okay? Okay, grab some cardstock. Okay, so you grab yourself some cardstock. This is mainly for clamshell users, all right? And grab some cardstock. And, oh, I know you can handle this. Fold it. You might have to fold it 3 times. You don't need a lot of thickness, okay? You don't have to make this 7 times thick. It really isn't that much of an issue for pressure. All right, so what you're going to do is you're going to put this, say this is your substrate, right? You're going to put this under the front edge, the edge closest to you. This is your top edge back towards the back part of your press, okay? So again, for visual purposes, when you're sliding this in, you're sliding it in here, okay? This is the back of your press. This is the front near belly. Okay. Love my tutorials. So you're sliding your image in. Now it's going to press harder here than it is up here. Take some cardstock. I usually go about 3 times because it smushes over time. And I put it just in under that front edge. That front edge helps to combat the pressure issue and it forces your entire substrate. This works mainly for harder substrates, neoprene type items. You don't necessarily need it for towels and shirts. I don't know why. It's the harder substrates is where people usually have the issues. Cutting boards, slates, that kind of thing. All right. Put it under this front edge. It's just a little bit. It's only a couple papers width. That is really what causes the pressure issue. You put that under the front and press as usual. This will help get you some more even pressure. It forces this all the way up against that top platen, and that's what I do when I have my clamshells. So I have had clamshells literally since the beginning, and this is something that I learned very quickly to help with pressure issues, is to put that up at the front and then this is towards your back. So every time you're loading into your clamshell or any press, That's the direction. You're going in the direction you want it to go in. This is your front, this is the back, and you want to push it in towards the back. And then you want to add that to it. If you're a swing away user, just avoid this conversation. We don't talk about it. It's like we don't talk about Bruno, we don't talk about swingways. There we go. Did that help? I hope so. So, the board method. It helps when you have fabric type products so that they don't droop. For the line on your paper, it's just a guide. Do you need it? No. Should you always still use butcher paper? Yes. You've seen me screw it up and not use it. And then what do I have to do? Clean my platen, right? So if we don't want to have to clean the platen, make sure you have your butcher paper. The board method can work literally on just about every press. All right. You just have to make sure you adjust the pressure. That means really loosening up the pressure on your press in order to fit that board in. If you're having issues, see me about it after class, and then we can try to work through it. For pressure issues with clamshells, remember the back part of your press touches first. That front portion is going to have just slightly less pressure. We even it out with just a couple folds of some cardstock, and it makes life so much easier. Always have a pencil in your shop. Why? Because you can draw on the backs of your prints and it doesn't affect your print. If you use a marker, a crayon, or whatever you want to use other than a pencil, it will cause issues with your print. So we don't want to do that either. All right. So those are just some tips and tricks on board methods, clamshell pressing, and so much more. We don't talk about Bruno. See? It is a lifesaver. Absolutely. All right. Next up, last up, we're going to do a craft project this morning. I get asked how to make those silicone wristlets. I'm going to zoom in my camera so that you guys can see what I'm doing, how I'm tying it, how I'm threading it, all of the fun stuff. I'm also going to show you how to make a tassel this morning. We're going to just throw some silicone beads right here. There we go. This way I have something to zoom in on when I go over to fix that. Let me get my needle and thread here. Yep, we have a needle and thread. All right, let's do it. I don't know why I just got the circle of life in my head. Perfect. Okay. All right. So you need yourself some silicone beads. These ones are small. These are 12 mil. You really would need to use a 16 mil or 20 mil, but these are the ones that I had right here readily available. All right, this is what we're talking about. All right. So you have that. I just didn't have enough of my larger beads to do this, so I'm using my smaller beads. First things first, don't knot the ends, okay? You want to get yourself a yarn needle. All right, the yarn needles will go through your silicone beads. You just have to probably fight it, but that's okay. We're here for it. All right, first things first, you want to get yourself some silicone beads. Now, you can use these silicone hexagons. We're going to put on one of the wood beads, so we're going to do that. Let me open up my bag here. So we're going to put that on there. Now, how many do you use? Well, that's completely up to you, but the method that I use is I use 5, 4, 5, okay? So how you set them up, completely up to you. So I'm going to put this, we're going to do 5 of them. Now, the reason I'm doing it double is it's because how I'm going to end up knotting it, all right? Because you actually will take the knot and it gets shoved inside one of these beads when you're done. Okay, so there's 4, 5. And then we're going to do the pink. Because why not? Actually, it kind of matches the tassel we're going to make. Okay. And now we're going to do the cream colored ones because again it matches the tassel we're going to make. I think I might need another cream colored one. Okay. Now, wherever you decide to put your wooden bead, completely up to you, okay? It really is. So we're going to put that, and whoopsies. Okay, here. Now you want to use your jump ring because again, we're going to be using, you can have a jump ring where it has the lobster claw. Let me get my lobster claw. And what you guys use for your lobster claws, what you guys use for this part is really just completely up to you. It's all about preference at this point. Do you have to have a lobster claw one? No, you don't. Okay, so there we go. We're going to feed that onto there. So that's on. Now, how do we do this, Nikki? Well, what you're going to want to do is I like to leave this on here just in case I screw this up, right? Feed this one through like that, okay? Sorry, I didn't realize I wasn't under the camera, okay? So you're feeding the one through, okay? Now, oh crap. Hey, dumbass, you forgot. Oh, no, you didn't. Okay. Hold up. Okay. You're gonna end up tying this, okay? So you tie it so this is nice and tight. Really pull it. Okay. Then you're going to come in here. Okay. Then what I like to do is come in with some fire. Please make sure that you use your fire responsibly. I like to just tap the edges of these. Why? Because it seals them. And then I just take this and literally thread it through one of the holes. Now you can thread it through one of the silicone beads, whatever it may be, but there you go. Okay, now you have a wristlet. So the 12 mil work great for little girls. You definitely want the 16 or the 20 because they're big and chunky. But for this tutorial, it's working. All right. Next up, I told you guys we're going to make a tassel. You're going to need 3 pieces of a tassel. You can go buy your files on Etsy to make a tassel. I do sell the marine grade vinyl that we can custom print, so literally you can make it match whatever you want. The file will sit and it will cut all the lines for you. You have a top portion and then you have the keychain portion. Okay, let's flip her over. So before we get started, you're going to want to take this tassel and you're going to want to glue it, and it's going to get glued on the inside of here. Now you want to have a nice tail on it, and we're going to glue that in a second. So you want to have the nice tail on this, all right, so that it works. Let's get that glue gun out. Decided I also need a new glue gun because I hate my glue gun. All right. It is an elastic cording that I am using. You just want to use an elastic cording. It stretches. Okay. So if you only have the 12 mil and you're like, oh, Nikki, I only have 12 mil, just add a couple extra beads to it. If you notice, I have small wrists. But see, you would probably want to add probably 2 more beads to this. So you could always add another white and another cream, still make that your accent piece. But just add in maybe 1. You can even add, so this would have 6 here and then maybe 5 here. If you picked up the 12 mil in some shape or form and you're like, I only have 12 mil, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. I promise you. right? Can you use super glue? Yes. Do I? No. Why? Because it's a pain in the butt. So we're not about the pain in the butt life currently. All right. Let's see if we got this going yet. I'm going to get the Roby. I've got to get the Roby cordless glue gun, because how many of you have this? I mean, it's missing a thingy right here. I mean, seriously. This glue gun has seen a better day. It's got fuzz all over it, and I don't want my mama's glue gun anymore. Okay, let me just get this going. And of course, it's going to take forever to heat up. Oh, you probably is. You're probably right. It probably is on sale this week. Come on. Oh, I'm being very impatient. I'm sorry. So while that heats up, because I'm being very impatient right now, you're going to want to put this in here, and then you're going to start to roll it. Now, you can put it in this middle section, and that's probably where I'm going to put it, and you just keep rolling it. Okay? You want to be able to secure this, because this is the loop that you're going to want to hook onto your keychain. And I will add glue all along the way. Now, if you notice, this looks like it's too long for me, so I know when I go in with the hot glue, I'm going to put that in a little bit deeper in, but this is what it's going to end up looking like, and then this guy gets put on the top. We just got to trim that off. But again, because, you know, in the interest of television, it's got to be. Come on, let me see life. I might have to hook up the other one. Did it finally die? Oh, there we go. Okay. Did the glue gun finally die? So I only want a little bit of a loop. So I'm going to put this one on first. Get that all nice and snug in there. And then I'm going to come down through. Add some more glue. Flip this around. I don't want a big, huge piece here. I don't care that this is hanging out in the center. And the reason for this being is because, honestly, you're not going to see it. So I'm not even going to trim it. Now, of course, that glue did not, because I didn't let it get hot enough. Okay, there we go. That's what happens when you rush things. Okay. So I'm going to put some glue here. So as I'm rolling it, I'm going to add glue to it. Get the little glue threads off. Okay. And I'm going to hold it for a second. I want to make sure that this top edge is nice and even. A little bit. So as it's going through, I am literally making this as tight as I can. Add some more glue. Rolling it around. Tassels are probably the easiest thing on the face of this earth to make. And the fact is, you can make custom ones to match whatever it is you're working on. Bonus. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit of glue to this edge, raw edge here. And I'm literally going to pull this as tight as I can. Okay, and I'm going to hold it there. Pull off all your little glue threads. Okay. I have to heat that up again. Okay. Can you use super glue? Yes. I just don't want to. Okay. Now, this is all in here. Now you want to take this piece, and for some reason this is really wonky. Okay. Hold on. This is what happens when you also rush. Note to self, don't rush. Trust the process. Okay. Make sure your glue gun's on high too, not on cool. This is what happens when Nikki rushes. It doesn't work. Note to self, don't be like Nikki. Okay. So now what we want to do is don't put your seam on the seam, put your seam beyond the seam. So this may be just a little bit too big for me, actually, as I'm sitting here looking at it. Much better. Okay, we're going to hold it down here. And then we're going to just slowly and very methodically wrap it around. Make sure your seam covers over. Again, you guys can use E6000, whatever it is. If you're going to use E6000, you might want to pinch it together. We're going to add a little bit more glue here. Okay. There you have a tassel. Now what I can do is go in with this. Can you also buy them? Of course you can. But if you want to have ones that match your school colors or whatever it may be, this may be an option. Let me get that on there. There we go. And there you go. And now you have your own homemade tassel. Again, you're going to want to get a cut file from Etsy. If you have a Cricut or Silhouette, these I just cut literally by hand. It comes with a little loop. Most of the files come with the little loops. You put it in, and it also comes with the little protective band that goes on the top. So everything is proportionate in the way it needs to go. This is really silly easy. Just get yourself a yarn needle. So mine's in like the medium range. I had a small one, it didn't work. The big one was too big. So this is more on the medium size of a yarn needle so that you can get it through your silicone beads, thread it through, double knot it, and then seal it with the lighter, lightly tap it with the lighter, and then feed it through one of those beads, and you are done. It's really that simple. These are not hard to make. Let's not overthink them. All right, we're going to go up next and we're going to do the ones that you see that are called the key fob style. Now, the key fob style literally has a knot at the end. It's really that easy, okay? So, we're going to put it on this one, okay? So, maybe I want a tassel on this one. Maybe I don't. You could put a charm on it. If you have a charm, you could do that too. Again, you want to use your yarn needle. But first things first, loop it here. Okay, I loop it in, and now it's on there. Now I'm going to come through, and I'm going to go through it with a double thread. Okay, go through it with a double thread. And now I'm just going to do all the hexagon ones, because you know what, they're fun. So we're going to do the hexagon ones, pull this out. I have a really lot of string here, so let me just, there we go. Okay. And we're going to do black. You want to do 4, 5, 6, whatever. Whatever you want really is up to you. You can add a bead in there. Say you want to be difficult and you want to add a bead. You absolutely can add whatever you want. You can make them with fun characters on them. It really just is completely dependent on what you want to do. All right. And then the black. All right. Then all it is a double and a triple knot. Okay. So you want to take this and knot it a bajillion times. And then we're going to seal it with a, and push your knot all the way up through here and just keep knotting it. What you can do is what they do is they take the loop. Oh, goodness. You take this loop, you come through, and you just keep wrapping it around. Okay? And then just bring it down through to wherever that knot is. And of course my knot is not in the right spot because I did it wrong. Crap. That's all right. I'll cut that piece off anyway. It won't matter. Okay. Okay, actually it worked in my favor. So you have a big old knot here. Okay, now it's not going to slide through. You're going to come through and you're going to just clip that off. And then I like to seal it all up. Okay, get it nice and tight. Don't worry about if it does that. It will do it. Don't freak out over it. Okay, and then I just tap it so that it stays. And now you have a little key fob. Okay, it's really that simple. These are not hard at all. Is that elastic string in the wristlet? Yes, it is. I like to use the elastic versus the regular like paracord, the thin paracord, or the fishing line, because all of the ones that I have a stretch to them, because again, wristlet sizes are not one size fits all. This way it fits, and I know it's going to fit. And my knot is actually inside this bead, so it protects the knot. So there you go. And then we just made a key fob, or a tassel, and here's one that I had purchased off of Amazon. So whether you want to make your own or you want to purchase them off of Amazon, you can. Now for these little decorative things, it's just a bead, by the way. These are just a bead that you can stick up on the top and glue it on there if you want. It's just to kind of cover things, give it a more dressier look. And then you could just make a standard key fob, lace it all the way through, double, triple, quadruple knot it, and then I seal the ends of my elastic thread with the lighter, and then this way they don't come apart. But there you go. Here are just some of my key fobs that I have made. I wanted to show you that yes, you can use hexagon beads, that you can use the 12 mil. If you use the 12 mil, add a couple extra beads for those. These are the 16 mil for these. So you have the 16 mil, just to give you a size reference, because everybody keeps asking. Yes, you can just add more beads. The traditional ones are more in the 16 to 20 mil realm. These are, like I said, are 16, and these are the 12, just to give you some size comparison for these. And then you have your hexagon ones, and there you go. Another place other than Amazon that you can get silicone beads is My Pretty Posh Princess. She has a website. She's got some really cool decorative silicone beads. You can always go and find her over there. So that's My Pretty Posh Princess. Has a bunch of silicone beads and decorative silicone beads as well. So you can check her out if you're looking for some place other than the Amazon. So there you go. Super, 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 super. Sorry, what material are you using for the tassel? Susan, great question. This tassel, I actually print marine grade vinyl. I can print it in any sort of print using my Eco Solvent printer. And then you can make little wallets that you can attach to these wristlets. You can make hair bows with it, key fobs, keychains, and so much more. Yes, you can sew on them and embroider on them. These both came from Amazon, but I just wanted to show you that you can have pretty too. So there you go. There you go. This is the part of the show where we call it the rewind. But first and foremost, let's thank the ladies behind the helm. I believe that's the right one. Yeah, I'm hoping it is. If not, I'll just flip it. Nope, that's not it. Hold on. Let me get the ladies. Where did they go? There they are. Let's just thank the ladies first and foremost. Again, one more time, thank you to the ladies for helping me out this morning. They helped you with all those links, those product questions, answering everything that you need for your sublimation needs, especially if I can't answer it while I'm here live. Please, again, thank Jess, Jody, Cheyenne, and Amanda for helping me out this morning. Without them, the Sass is not possible. So thank you to those beautiful ladies. All right. Next up, I would like to thank Ashley from Aparicium for the acrylics. As you guys know, we did the acrylic photo panels this morning. which both came out absolutely stunning. As you could tell, this one I still left kind of curved. It didn't flatten out because I didn't do it quick enough, but you do definitely have a nice curve that you can put on it. Well, that's not kind of nice, but that's kind of wonky actually. So there you go. You can get, these ones are out of stock. These are the 5x7, but she does have the 8x10. She also has ornaments in there as well. Okay. She has round, square, and I believe a Benelux style. Next up, we talked about the coin toss games from Blanktastic. Blanktastic has two sizes. One's for our kiddos and one's for the adults. They come with feet that are completely, you know, you could take them off. But let me show you a size difference here. There you go. Okay. So you have the 4x6 and you have the 7x5. All right. Again, the reasoning behind it is this makes it a little bit easier for a kiddo, especially for those under 5, to be able to play the game. You can use on these, you can use MDF rounds if you didn't want to use a quarter. You absolutely can, as long as it fits in this hole, which I think is like 1.5 inches. This is for your adults. It's a little harder because the playing field is a little bit harder, so it makes it harder to get in there. As I showed you, I put the instructions on the back of them. Please note that any designs that you find currently in my shop will have to be scaled down. All right, we made these slightly smaller so that they could fit into a cosmetic bag very easily without fighting it. So definitely great for cosmetic bags. Tucking them both in there with the feet and the instructions make it a great little game on the go for camping, for family fun, wherever you may be. These are a quick and easy game. If you are heading to Texas in July, you'll be able to see these live in person. We'll have those at our booth that you'll find. Well, I won't have a booth. We'll have a table, and I'll be joined by Claire and Beverly. I am headed to the Applique Getaway on July 14th. I'll actually be there from July 14th to July 18th, and we're going to be selling blanks there while we're there from Blanktastic. I am now teaching 3 classes in there, and you're going to also meet some of the men of the Sass. That's right. You're going to be able to meet the embroidery nerds. They're actually going to be right next door to us. We're going to be doing some sublimation and embroidered items. And if you haven't ordered your tribe pack, just go do it. You guys are going to get in your tribe pack this month. If you're unfamiliar with what a tribe pack is, basically it's a sticker pack where you get anywhere between 140 and 160 stickers, packaging stickers of all sorts and kinds. Never are my stickers exactly alike from like last year to this year, you know, but this month I would like to thank 3 lovely ladies. That would be 3 of my beautiful designers, my sister Amanda, Jody, and Terry Fillmore, for helping me out this month. They knew that with everything breaking down in my shop, this girl went crazy. They stepped up to the plate and said, how can we help? And so they helped with the designs for this month's tribe pack, because that's what it's built on. The tribe. We also have the DIY project coming out of Fuller Embroidery Works. This is a keychain. It is an embroidered keychain, all right? But you get to sub on it, so you get to make whatever crazy design you want. The beautiful part is he makes any shape. So if you're looking for fun shapes for patches, and instead of your round and your rectangle, hit Jeff up. He will definitely make some for you so that you can add them to your sublimation needs. It's a great resource for you, and he also joined the tribe pack this month. There we go. And lastly, what else we talked about? You know, I had to throw my disclaimer in there, right? We talked about wristlets this morning, and those were the silicone ones. How to tie them, really easy, just double, triple knot them. What the difference is between a 12mm looks like and a 16mm. What you can do with them, and how to make your own tassel out of the custom printed vinyl that I make. It's a vinyl fabric, faux leather, if you will, that you can make. And you can also make bows and wallets and so much more. So make sure that you can find those faux leather patterns. I have some up on my site right now at thesassysubber.com. I would also like to thank one of our and I don't want to say she's a sponsor, but she's always around to help, and that is Lori from Sawgrass. She hangs out over on my YouTube channel, and if you have anything Sawgrass needs, make sure that you reach out to Lori. She is a wealth of knowledge when it comes to all things Sawgrass, so make sure you check her out as well. I'm a sassy subbed kid. Yes, he is. So, again, thank you guys so much for watching. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there, especially all of those in our Sassy Nation tribe. I would like to say Happy Father's Day to Marvin, John, and John. They are our vendors. You have Marvin from Driven by Graphics. You have John from Just Blanking Fun. And the other John, with his wife Erin, has Taz Creation Metal Arts. And that has been your Sunday. Thank you guys so much for watching. You guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys all later on that flip side.